Hi there, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Santiago Martínez and I'm the master carver and brand ambassador of Cinco Jotas. And I'm here because I would like to prepare some videos to show you the craft of carving ham and to share with you some top tricks. To carve ham, we are going to need three things. A ham, obviously, but also a sturdy and reliable ham stand and a set of three very sharp knives. This one, La Puntilla, short blade knife. This other one, the butcher, and the carving knife, which is going to be elongated and very sharp. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to open a ham. First of all, I'm going to point out to the four different parts of the ham: maza, babilla, punta, and jarrete. From Cinco Jotas, we are gonna recommend to open always the ham from the maza because you're gonna get one of the nicest slices of the ham, because it's gonna be more enjoyable, because in order to preserve the ham safe and in the best conditions is always the best option. So we are going to use the butcher knife to open the ham. 3 fingers below the elbow, this little bone sticking out. Making a cut, putting the knife in an angle in order to get the most meat out of the leg, and then I'm making this cut until I reach the bone and can't get any lower. And then I'm going to trim off this yellowish and rusty skin. Be careful when you're carving with this knife because they are very, very, very sharp. I'm gonna clean the sides as well. So it's always common sense the one you have to use in order to prevent the accidents in the house, because these accidents carving hams are very common and usually in Spain, especially in Christmas time. I'm using the versatility of the ham stand to trim a little bit in the sides in order to expose the minimum meat. So we always have to trim as much as we are gonna need each time. So that is gonna make the ham be kept in the best conditions for longer. Then we do the other side. Just 3 or 4 fingers below the opening line, exposing as much as we need. Be very careful with the knives. So normally you can, well, we are working with security gloves, for sure that you don't have those in the house, but try to avoid to put a hand in the way of the knife, because these knives making no hostages, you know what I mean? They're very dangerous. Once we get to the white fat, we can say that the ham is ready, so we can remove these little bits of rancid fat here as well. We cut the inside of the hip in order to avoid to put any rusty bit or yellowish bit in the plate. And now with the carving knife, we remove these first layers, and when the fat is white, we are ready to carve. So these slices can be used to protect the ham when we finish carving in the day, or also, well, if you want to use them for cooking, it's a good option. So pretty much the ham is ready to cut. Today I'm gonna show you how to carve ham like a professional. For that, you just have to follow 3 simple rules. First one, straight lines. We don't wanna see craters in the middle of the ham. Flat surface, plano, as flat as you can, no leaning to the sides, and clean bones. That is gonna get you the most yield out of the ham, avoiding any waste. My top tip to create the perfect slice is to use the heel of the knife, the part closest to the handle. Placing the knife onto the ham, applying a little bit of pressure with my thumb, gliding the knife towards myself, left to right, in a fluid motion to create the perfect slice. Here at the hook, the first slice is gonna be always carving away from myself. This way, we will make the most out of our leg, this sensational 100% pure breed Iberico Cinco Jotas, and we will keep a straight line. Then we continue carving towards myself from the hock to the muscle. You can see the color of the meat, the infiltrated fat within the muscles. That speaks volumes about the quality of the ham, time the pig spends in the fields, living outside freely, the diet on acorns. Look the fat. The first stumbling block people arrive at is the hip bone. I'm gonna show you how to go around it. We need to use the puntilla, cutting around the bone, separating the meat from the bone, preventing the meat sticking to the bone, and allowing preparing beautiful slices. Here in the front, and with a knife in angle, sliding from the heel of the knife to the tip, this slice from la punta. One way to prove the quality of our hams, 100% pure breed Iberico fed on acorns, is to squeeze the hock. You can see all the oils and saturated fat oozing out of the muscle, except no substitutes. As we carving, we are gonna find these white spots in the ham, so this is totally normal, this is edible, this is an amino acid, is tyrosine, is no bone, is no salt, is no acorns, as I say, normal in our hams. The second bone we are gonna bump into is gonna be the fibula. To continue carving, I'm gonna make a clean cut behind the bone, first slice against myself, rest of the slices towards myself. Next bone to appear is the knee bone. Same as before, a clean cut behind the knee bone, first slice against me, next slice towards me, creating 2 steps. As you can see, I flip the ham over, I clean it, and today I'm gonna show you how to cut the rump end of the ham, the hock, the third cut, and how to finish the ham. To carve this part of the ham, we will use the same technique of cutting that I showed you in the previous videos. You have to glide the knife, and we are gonna produce smaller slices, but they're gonna taste beautiful. This part of our ham Cinco Jotas is a culinary delight. The texture is firmer. The flavor in your mouth lasts longer, with an intensity that is unique and delightful. Once we reach the knee, we are gonna make a clean cut behind the bone. First slice is gonna be always against myself, following ones towards myself. To carve the slices from this part, we will need to flip the knife over like this, carving with the back of the knife, sliding from the heel of the knife, finishing the slice with the tip. As we reach to the hip bone, and as previously demonstrated, we will use a sharp puntilla to separate the meat from the bone in order to make a clean cut that will achieve beautiful slices, making the most out of our ham. Now that we have the knee bone and the hip bone exposed, what I have to do is keep on carving until I find the femur bone. So let's crack on. Here we have the hog, one of my favorite parts, where the texture might be a little bit firmer, but the flavor is sensational. Here you can see the femur that indicates that this cut is finished. What we do is put in the ham on each side to begin with a third cut. The carving technique in this area is exactly the same as before. Press, you slide until you get the perfect slice with a big amount of fat infiltrate within the muscles. If you want to make a slice bigger, you incline the knife or you keep it closer to you. In this video, you can appreciate the smell of acorns and the esa. It takes us directly in a journey to Jabugo. Keeping the same angle of the knife, we will carve from the hip to the hock. In case we need to separate the meat from the bone, we will use, as usual, the puntilla to do it. Once I've completed the third cut, I'm going to show you the technique I use to access to this delicious meat by cutting and snapping the fibula. Cut around the bone, pass by through one side to the other, and then we need to snap, cutting that link between the bone and the knee and snapping the bone. Once we remove the fibula, we are going to start carving slices from this bit. That may because it's a trickiest bit to find. For me, it's the tastiest bit. As you can see, the ham is almost totally gone. So the only ham left is the inside of the femur. I recommend you to slice it in little cubes and use it for cooking or to make croquetas. And that's all. That is the end of the tutorial carving of ham. Bye. See you later.